The Short Take with Alex and Jake.
Hello, and welcome to The Short Take, the podcast where we talk about all things short films, apart from when we don't. That was a really weird delivery.
Yeah.
Moving on. I'm your host, Jake, and with me, as ever, is my co-host. I'm really fucking this up. I'm going to
Your
start again.
co-host.
Yeah.
I represent the people.
With me, as ever, is my co-host, Alex.
Hey, yeah.
How are you doing this week?
I'm alright.
Yeah?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, okay, I'm on a bit of a downer because I feel like this episode's not going to be as good for me as last episode.
Well, we'll find out.
No episode's going to be as good.
Ever.
Never.
You said that about Ticker Monster.
That's true, I did. And then
look at you now.
Look at me now. I'm just as sad, but in a different way. I had a day of happiness.
Eating your own words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well. What's the film today?
This week, episode 12, we're looking at a film called Save This Thing, directed by Dom Ferrer, who has been
a regular
of the podcast. This is the third movie of his that we're reviewing.
Mm-hmm. That isn't a remake of a previous movie.
Sorry, fourth overall. Yeah.
Oh, what was the other one we looked at?
They did the Christmas one.
Oh, of course we did. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Decked, right?
Decked, yeah. So we did Hero 2013, Hero 2017, Decked, and now Save This Thing, which is his latest release.
Yeah.
Came out in October.
While we were recording the podcast, right? The first series.
We would have just been wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the synopsis goes like this.
Go on.
After finding a mysterious cardboard box on the beach, a kind person tries to do something good. Very short, very to the point.
Sounds right.
It was written and directed by Dom. He also edited it.
Yeah.
And the starring role was Shannon Barry.
Yeah.
Who is currently dating Dom, which is literally the only thing I found out about this film.
Excellent.
There is no information about budget, about like when they recorded, about like how they did it, behind the scenes. There's nothing.
Did Dom do the music for this one?
He did, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say.
Apart from Kiss Me. At the end,
obviously, yeah.
which was by like Pompoulmoose, I think it said something
yes,
like that.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to kick us off with some good?
Yeah. I mean, okay. First of all, we should say, we've been watching Dom now for this fourth film of his we've watched. I think we can both say we're fans of his in a sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really good. I really like this film.
Yeah.
I have issues with it.
Okay.
We'll get to that. I think first of all, it's worth saying it's really funny.
Yeah.
I really want to say this really quick before I forget. At the very beginning on the beach, there's a line that really cracks me up when I first watched it. I had to pause and go back and watch it again just to make sure I'd heard it. But there's a bit where when she's on the beach and there's the guys, you hear the guys coming, sort of thing. And she, at the very beginning, she's picking up litter.
Yeah.
Okay. If you listen, one of the guys, when they're shouting like, this way, da-da-da, one of the guys you can hear go, this beach is really clean. Which really cracked me up. Yeah, it's worth listening.
So sad I haven't heard that.
It really got me.
That is good.
I think her performance in it is worth noting as being something really good in there.
Yes,
I think she really sells the
100%.
character. I really love the idea of the character and the idea of the story of somebody who's just really nice. The bit where the guy explains, like, oh, you're the kind of person who leaves a comment on a YouTube video that no one's going to see saying, I hope your day is good or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that there's something really nice about the idea of that character and making them a main character and testing them.
Yeah, because I think Dom has a really interesting way of working with his characters where he does really challenge
Their beliefs.
Their beliefs and also the expectations that we as the audience have of them as well. Because in Hero, you're obviously it's a hero, so you're expecting them to be selfless.
And the whole point in that story is the idea that they're being selfish, quote unquote.
Yeah, it's like he's like, why do I have to do this?
Yeah.
And in this, it's like
even in Decked, I would argue.
Yeah,
to an extent.
In this, she is, she's obviously like a eco warrior type. She's like cleaning the beaches. She's trying to be a good person whenever she can.
Yeah.
And this thing challenges that.
Yeah.
It's like, why am I doing this?
Yeah,
am I doing the right thing?
What is the worth? Like, why should I be doing this? I'm putting you before me, but why? Like, what's the point? I like also the idea of the small hint at the relationship between her and Dom's character who turns up in it for like one scene. Kind of the way their dynamic is, and it feels like the way he talks to her that like they maybe had a thing and it didn't work because of how selfless, quote unquote, she is.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and like putting others before them, I guess you could say, as a pair.
No, yeah, I think that scene in particular like steals the film.
Yes,
probably just because Dom's in it.
He's very good. Like he's got such a screen presence. It really made me realize he's got kind of a Ryan Reynolds thing. Like, there's a like kind of the style of comedy and the way they appear on screen. The way his character, it feels like, breaks the fourth wall, but without breaking the fourth wall. The way he's just like, this is dumb.
Yes.
Why am I here? I hate this. And he's really strong at that dialogue. I wonder if he writes it exactly as it appears, or if it's a case of him improvising.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's written it, so it's fine. But like, I wonder if it's him.
Bit of dialogue feels super polished,
right?
Probably because he's acting it.
Yeah.
Not that the rest of it is unpolished. I just think that bit particularly is very, very like to the point and like, you know.
I think we should say this. Sorry, one of the strongest things about this film, in my opinion, is the structure of it, and I think the way it's jumping through time is so interesting.
Yeah,
and it kind of comes back to what we were saying last episode about the only showing the most important bits. I really like the idea we don't see any of her escaping these men with the thing. We just see her, 9 hours later, I think the first jump is,
in like
just
a laundromat,
which is such a funny gag. The cut to her face, and it's not a close up, it's just her sat there with the lights and the guy walking past the window and just her eyes in the dark. It's really wide, so funny, and tells a story in itself. You're like, oh my god, like, this is so much more than she anticipated. And then the jump forward to her meeting Dom. I don't know what his character's name is.
Don't think he has a name.
No. I love the fact he's wearing a little lanyard badge thing. Which is immediately you're just like, oh, I guess he's like a doctor or a scientist, maybe. And that's why she went to him. Like,
I kind of have it in my nitpicks that I love the idea that he's just a guy. And she was like, she had no idea what else to do, so just went to him.
See, I read it as him being a doctor or something.
I mean, that's probably what the intention is. But I just love the idea that he has no qualification.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I don't really know what to do, so can you help? And he's like,
can you not make it weird? I asked you for help. And he's like, me make it weird.
I just love that idea.
And then the jump forward to her with the list, where she's like in the...
Yeah, and the sunglasses guy comes in.
Yeah, but then each time it's using each of these moments to like... Imagining what's happened between them is maybe way better than anything he could ever show us.
Well, yeah, because
it's clever.
I think it works really well in two ways of short filminess.
Yeah.
Where it's a feature film condensed down into a short film.
100%.
But also you could see it as like act one of a film.
Yeah.
Because where it leaves off, you're like, there is literally so much more story you could tell.
I do want to talk about where it leaves off. I've got thoughts on that, but I think it's more in the bad, to be honest, for me.
Okay, interesting.
I really like the thing, the way it never shows, but then the way you get the fingers at the end.
Yeah, and they kind of
so
glow.
Good.
Yeah.
I really think, and there are a lot of parallels and stuff, I think, in just terms of visual stuff going on. But outside of that, I think in general, I really think Dom is kind of like a Spielberg. Like, I think he could be a Spielberg if given the budget.
Right.
I think he's like got the same sentimentality. He's got the same like kind of love of the weird kind of stuff. He likes doing weird and he likes things funny.
Yes.
I just feel like I could really see him, if you gave him a big budget, doing something Spielberg-esque. Like
I think
an E.T. but his own version of that, which essentially is kind of this, like in a weird way.
Yeah, I think he would. I think he will go on to make a really good film.
I think he will as well.
When he gets the chance to do that, I think he will smash it.
He's so good. Like he's really, I think it's such strong directing and it's such strong directing like voice to it. You can tell it's him in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that's really cool. I really love how short it is. Like, although how long is it? It's like 12 minutes.
I thought it was like 7.
Oh, was it 7? Sorry.
7 minutes 28
7
seconds.
minutes. That's decent length. Like, not too long, not too short. But it breezes by because I think of the condensed scenes it's telling.
Yeah. I think actually, just quickly on the condensed scenes kind of stuff, I think the costume design between scenes.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah. It really, really helps you imagine how long it's been in between each of these scenes. I thought that was like such a nice touch.
100% agree.
And also her t-shirt in the first bit is like so much character work without having to do
100%.
anything.
The production design across the film is fantastic.
Yeah.
The design is really stupid, but just the look of the box, like.
Yeah.
It's just a box. Like, they haven't really done anything to it, but the choice of what box to use, I feel like the box really works.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The note, the design of the note, which again is a weird thing to think about, but when you think about it, somebody had to sit down and write that note and like make sure it looks the right way for the film.
Yeah.
I think it just is perfect. The bar she's in at one point, I think looks really cool. Like, I can imagine the rest of that room without seeing it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think the lighting and stuff's really good. I really like the car park, the way that's all shot. I think that looks great. I love the running gag of the little guy being like, "Can I have a kiss?" or whatever he says. That's so funny.
And then leading into the song at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
So good.
Really good.
Yeah.
I really love as well just like the writing for the thing. I think is what it's called, right?
It is
Because it's called This Thing because it saved this thing. Yeah, I really love the idea of the weird little things he does, like the bit where he's in the bar and he's like, "How loud do you think I can scream?" It's so funny, and the way she responds, you're like, "Oh, he's done stuff like this before."
Yeah,
like in their time together, I think it's been a week at that point. I want to say is what the timeline's been.
No, it's longer than that.
Longer than that.
It's 9 hours, and then it's 5 days, which is a week when they're in the car park.
Yeah,
and then it's another 9 or so days later.
Yeah, I can't
right.
remember. I think you're right. I think it's 9 days exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea though, the way she reacts is like he's done this sort of stuff before.
Yeah, and she
like,
just reacts so tired as
yeah,
well. She's
exactly.
Like, just please don't.
But it's that thing of it's the giving tree. It's that thing of like it's just give and give and give, and then like you break.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say in the good?
Yeah.
Go for it. Because I think I kind of want to veer into bad, but then I also am bad's kind of nitpicky. But
okay, I think the twist at the end of the time loop thing, I think it does a very good job of hitting a couple of beats at the same time.
Okay.
So it kind of, when it happens, the main character gets a new sense of like why she should care.
Yeah.
It gives her that what is it, the glimmer that she asks for.
Yeah, give you a glimmer of hope.
And then it also tells you why this thing is important to people, why they're after it.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like tying lots of things together. It also pays off that line where earlier in the car park where she says, "Oh, things tend to work out for me."
Yeah.
And then when she gets shot, you're like, "Oh, well, this one's not going to work out for her," but then it does.
Yeah, that's a good
so
point.
It's like
actually.
a little bit of a payoff to that. I don't think this is the intention of the film. But the idea of people being inherently selfish.
Yeah.
At the heart of it, like she's saying she's doing a good thing. But is she doing it for her? Because she needs this glimmer in order to carry on with it. It's like, well, you're not actually being selfish, are you? Like you need what's the word? Approval. Yeah. For the actions that you're taking. So I think it introduces that kind of like a weird dynamic to it, which I don't think is the intention of the film. I think it's like she does genuinely care. Yeah. And then this creature just shows a shred of caring for her. Yeah. And she's like, okay, I can still care for you now. Yeah. Because it is conditional. Like the situation they're in is conditional. Yeah. We kind of talked about some other stuff, like the writing and the acting is very good.
It's very good.
I really like the color grade.
Yes, I was thinking that.
The color grade in both of the hero films are very good, but
different ends of the spectrum as well, which
they
is
are because they're very blue and then very red. Yeah. I don't think overall I love them, but I can see why they did it for those films because it obviously makes sense thematically. This one just looks much more professional. Yeah. It looks like a film grade. Yeah. Which I really like.
Again, going back to the location thing as well, the locations are really good. I think the
good.
beach is really good at the beginning. Like wherever they found that cove, it looks great.
It's really nice, isn't it? Yeah. And I saw set photos, like they did actually kind of go to beaches and stuff, which is cool. Just overall, I think the narrative is very good for how fast it's going. As you were saying, like cutting.
I think the structure of it is what helps. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's kind of it. I think that's it. I'm happy to move on. Okay. Also, the main character is called Cassidy.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I've actually started writing their names at the top.
Her name gets mentioned.
Just say her and him and like.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember her name being mentioned now by the Dom's character.
Yeah, he does say Cassidy. Cass or something.
Yes, I think he does. Okay, so in terms of bad, I didn't love the ending.
Okay.
I think the ending doesn't really work for me.
No?
There's a part of me, I don't think it's a bad ending. I don't think it's like, oh, they fucked it, like the film's ruined. I think personally, if I was doing it, I think the ending of her being shot is more interesting than the ending of the thing going back in time. But I think it's also maybe more to do with the editing and pacing of the moment.
Right.
It happens so fast.
It does.
And it doesn't really, for me, feel like it really lends to the rest of what the story is. Yeah. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. I like the idea that she's doing the right thing the whole film, and then she does the wrong thing once, which is that she's like, fuck it, take it, I can't be fucked. And that leads to her dying. Yeah. I kind of like that idea that that's just like, not the moral of the story, but the story outcome is, oh shit, like she should have kept doing the nice thing. And it also introduces, like, for me, a plot hole of like, why didn't that guy just kill her to begin with? Like, why, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, what's changed?
Yeah, like, I don't know.
That'll be something that we'll pick up when we watch one of my films.
Amazing. The guy who is the agent, or whoever he is, the mystery man.
The sunglasses guy.
Yeah. I think he looks right. He has a cool look. Yeah. Don't like his acting. No. I think he's very clearly reading off a script. I think the pacing, again, of his dialogue is wrong.
See, Maybe that's what the problem is. I didn't like his lines when he was being like, "Oh, you vote and you leave YouTube comments."
Yeah.
I really didn't like that.
I think
bit.
it's just the pacing of the scene needs to slow down.
Maybe,
it's going
yeah.
too fast. I think if there were pauses and like more like, I don't know, even the joke when he sits down at the table is funny when she's like, "Oh, do you need me to show you where he said?" He's like, "No, I'm not blind. These are sunglasses."
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I think like it maybe ruins the tone of the scene because from then on he's just speeding through his dialogue.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel it'd be more interesting and maybe funnier if he sat down and didn't say anything and she's like, "Hello," and then he's like, "I know who you are," and it's being more like suspicious, I guess.
Yeah. More controlling.
Yeah, there's something about his character is just off.
He doesn't control the scene enough.
No, I like at the very end, like when he like goes, "Oh, thanks," and then shoots her. I think he's good in that scene when he doesn't really say anything. But then he has like a certain look that really works on film, and then the shot of him like kind of walking out of frame and like his hair kind of blows in the wind, which I think is fun. But yeah, I think he kind of butchers his scene a bit. I don't know who he is. I don't know if he is a professional actor or somebody Dom knows who just got to be
I
the
assume
part.
it's probably a friend.
Yeah. I say butchers part. It's not awful. Like it still works. It's just in my head that's the bit that sticks out to me. Like, oh, don't love that bit.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I think it is a funny film, but I think a lot of the jokes don't land for me.
I think there are bits where it's doing jokes where it doesn't need to.
Yeah, I think it might just be an American humor thing.
I think it's an internet humor thing.
Yeah, maybe.
I think if you took it off the internet and played it in a cinema, the jokes wouldn't feel like they belong there.
Okay.
I think because it's a web video, there's something different. I don't know, it feels more like a sketch maybe, which we've talked about many times.
Yeah.
I think like the joke where she sat down with her eyes wide and in the window you see the guy and then he tells the joke, which is a funny joke, where he says, what do you mean who is this? Who else is making calls like this to you?
Yeah.
Like, it's a funny joke, but it feels out of place and the same with the joke I said at the very beginning, which I think is very funny, where he's like, "Oh, this beach is really clean." It's like, it still feels, when you do hear it, it feels kind of... It undercuts the moment. It undercuts what the story is for me a little bit. But it is on the internet, so maybe it's fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe it could rise above that.
Because you kind of want to feel like what she's being chased by is a genuine threat.
Yeah,
and the fact that a lot of the jokes are coming from that threat, it undercuts it. It makes it not scary.
Yeah.
Maybe a better way is that all of the jokes, because the jokes that land for me are the ones between her and the Thing, and with Dom in that scene. They're the jokes that really cracked me up,
because they feel they are more baked into what is happening and they're more part of the scene, and it's not like
exactly like the bit where she turns off the TV and it's just like TV.
Yeah, that's funny. And like I feel like especially with the Dom character, like when he's saying, and Dom plays, we should also say Dom plays the Thing as well.
He does, yes. Yeah, great job.
When Dom is playing his doctor character though, like the things he's saying are funny, but he's not trying to be funny.
No.
He's not telling a joke. He's being a character in a scene, but it's funny.
It's that Bryan Cranston quote where he's like, if you're in a sitcom, the character cannot know that they're in a sitcom. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they have to think that these things are genuine, that their life is in danger or whatever. Like, they have to believe that these situations... Yeah. Because if they start laughing, then the audience doesn't laugh anymore, and it breaks down the meaning of the scene.
Yeah.
And I think Dom plays it very well, where it's like he plays a straight character, but the things that he's saying are funny because of how absurd the scene is.
I also think it's worth noting, going back to kind of the good, Shannon, her timing with a lot of the comedy is really good, especially with the Thing. I don't know how they went about doing that. I don't know if he read off screen when they were doing the takes to give her the timing and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine he would have.
Probably.
But yeah, a lot of her comedy timing is really good and really sells a lot of the jokes. And I think it's almost a thankless task of being the straight man sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think she is of basically the whole film.
Yeah.
But she really sells it. I think the bit in the bar when the guy says something to her and then she says something, "Oh, what makes this thing?" And then the Thing says something that she's like, "What makes it so important?" Or something like that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what he says, like, ask him if I can...
Have a kiss.
And then, but she's in midway through saying something, or she says something and then adds to what she said to kind of reinforce how important, quote unquote, this thing is, after it's just done something really dumb. I feel like that's a really funny gag. Like, it's a good little moment.
Yeah. I thought the voiceover of the man on the phone in the second scene, 9 hours later, that was really bad.
Yeah, it's not great audio.
No, because the audio in the rest of the film was excellent.
Yeah.
It was just that one bit I was like, oh,
really
that doesn't sound quite right.
Yeah, which is a shame.
Because it doesn't sound like it's being heard through a window. It sounds a bit too muffled, but then also too loud.
It sounds post-processed. Like, it doesn't sound like it sounds like they recorded it on a microphone somewhere.
Yeah.
But like, which is obviously what they did. But obviously, when you're watching, you don't want to be thinking.
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I think we should say as well. I don't know about you, but I think all these things basically are nitpicks.
Yeah, more or less.
Like,
it doesn't spoil
it's
the
kind
film.
of
I love the film.
It's I think bad and nitpick. Obviously, there's always like a merging point. I
Yeah.
feel like for this, other than me not liking the ending, but that's not me saying the ending's bad. I just think personally, I don't particularly like the ending.
Yeah.
I think outside of that, I think every problem I have is more like that's a shame.
I think I just wanted more. From this
which
film.
is good. Like, leave the audience wanting more. There's obviously going back to kind of the ending situation. Something that bothers me is you obviously have the whole thing with like her having the corner of the paper from her own.
Oh, that was one of my biggest bads.
It never pays off, and I get there's like a time travel element, but it just doesn't pay off.
Because she goes back to the exact point. When would she have written that note?
Yeah, I kind of felt like more so it would have been more interesting if she died with the creature, with the note, and then somebody else found it, and it was just like a different person, but the story continues, like almost like it's a loop. But it's a different person finding the note and her body and the thing, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going to save you now.
Yeah,
I think that would be more interesting.
The note is the only clue that you're going to get a time loop situation, right?
But it's not a time loop.
It doesn't fit in. No, it's not really a time loop, is it? Because she has the same memories and stuff. I mean, it is in a way because they've traveled. It's time travel, really, isn't it? Traveling back to the point where she found the box, but she retains the memories of the journey they've gone on.
Yeah, but then how does that explain the page?
Exactly, it doesn't. It doesn't explain it. And also, I think it comes about at a really weird time because she's just writing and then she just pulls it out and it's like, oh,
and it's like a moment, and then suddenly the moment's interrupted by the other guy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, oh no, not yet. But then it never happens. It never gets paid off, and it's like, oh.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's a shame. And especially with like the body on the beach, I want to know, and I'm fine with not knowing, but a part of me is like, who's the guy on the beach then?
That's kind of in my nitpicks. That it's like, she ignores the body, doesn't really like.
To be
consider
fair,
it, and then Dom. And
I was gonna say they didn't like. It's not like an oversight. They do talk about that, which is
she's
funny.
like, oh, it's next to the body, and he's like,
what?
Sorry, what? I really liked that joke. That was good. But it was in my nitpicks. I guess it's just her character, isn't it? Like,
she's
just kind of like
sense.
She just ignored it.
Also,
like,
you're in the
box.
moment. I feel like.
Yeah.
I think
very funny.
Yeah, I think my biggest problem with the film is just I think the ending's not great. And I think it leaves too many hanging threads where it feels like they're setting something up, but actually the thing they set up isn't what they were doing.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. What they did.
I can see where you're coming from. I really did like the ending.
That's fair.
But I do agree with the loose threads thing. There's too many things that they introduced that they didn't pay off.
Yeah.
And like,
it's a shame because I feel like maybe there's a version of this film where they come up with some really crazy like time travel thing, but in a sense that where they don't fully explain it, but if you keep watching it, you're picking up on more and more stuff, and you're like, wait, no, so this is. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost a puzzle to be solved. I would love that.
But no, they don't give enough with like the body because they don't focus on the body.
Yeah, no. I am fine with the body not really meaning anything.
Yeah, yeah.
I think there's something to be said again. I think we said this last episode. Oh no, I think we said it this episode. Sorry, I'm getting very confused. I think we said about like the idea of what you're not seeing by showing it, it's actually less interesting than by not seeing it.
Yeah.
Like I think the unsaid is more interesting sometimes. Like we see a body and we're like, what the fuck's the deal with the body? If they actually told us, it's like, oh, okay. But by not knowing, it's like, oh,
you're
wow,
thinking about it.
Yeah, I wonder what it is. Like, who is that guy? But I think the paper doesn't work the same way. I think just because of the fact they do introduce a time travel thing, but the paper isn't really a part of it, it seems, but must be.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know.
Baffling.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think this is kind of on the wavelength of wanting more from the film.
Yeah.
I just wanted more of the road trip stuff. Because in almost every scene, it's her and the thing and another character, and the main focus of the conversations and stuff is between her and the other character.
Yeah.
And the thing just says random stuff every now and then. You don't.
Do you mean then? Do you want like more of a scene where it's her talking to the thing?
Not necessarily communicating with it, but like spending time with it and building that, because you get the implied relationship, which kind of does work for the film. It's fine. I just wanted more, but then maybe that is leading into the like, I just wanted this to be a longer film and include more, and that's kind of good. In the end, leave them wanting more and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah. That was what I would have wanted if it was more. I would have wanted road trip stuff.
That makes sense. No, I do see that.
Yeah.
Overall, I think I really like it. I have issues, but like, again, it's less issues in the sense of like, this is actually factually not good or bad or like anything like that. I think it's more so just like, oh man, I think I would rather it done this, or I'd like this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's more that. But I still really like it. And I think it's really good as a short film. Like, really, really strong.
Yeah, no, I think it is very, very strong, and I can see Dom going on to big and good
100%,
things.
100%.
Yeah. Wow. Nice. Maybe the second best film of the season.
No. Tickle Monster is the second best film of the season.
Of this
season, yeah.
Uh-oh, is it quiz time?
Just quickly, if you were on a beach walking around.
Okay, I wasn't. Do you know what, in my head I was like, do we do this before or after the quiz? I just blanked.
No, it's before.
It's before, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I should do it.
Yeah, alright, you do it.
If you're on a beach.
I haven't got a good one anyway.
If you're on a beach and there was a box and a dead body, and inside that box was
you. A little Alex.
No, was the film Save This Thing.
Okay.
And there were men coming after you, and there was a note next to Save This Thing saying Save This Thing, and you're like, is this like telling me to do something, or is this just the name of the film? Because that is what the name of the film is. Is it just like, is this a label that's fallen off the box? But then people are coming. Do you just run away, or do you pick up the box and run with the box?
I think I'll probably get very confused about the messaging and just go for a swim.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I would go for a swim too.
Yeah.
I think I would also go for a swim.
Yeah.
I would think about the film a lot.
I
would keep thinking about how confusing that was.
What does it mean?
What was that about?
Are you just telling me what's in the box?
Yeah.
So I don't really care.
Was this attached to the box?
Like, if it had said on the thing, you need to save this film, save this thing, otherwise these men will come and destroy it and no one would ever be able to watch it. Then I'd take it. Mm-hmm. If it was a clear message, but not being clear, I'd be very confused and I'd be like, well, I'm not going to fight some men because there's a film in a box. I'm going to go for a swim.
Exactly. And then while I'm swimming, I would be like, oh my god, there's a dead body.
I've just seen the first question that's too fucking long.
What? Whoa! This is perfect.
So we're on to the quiz now.
Oof.
And Alex is going to ask me 3 questions based on...
This is a really long question, but I think you're going to know the answer.
Okay, cool. If I get all 3 right or all 3 wrong, then he'll ask me a bonus true or false question.
Which will be a...
victory lap or a pity point.
Hey, there we go. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Who am I? That's the question.
Great. Love these ones. Alex.
That's correct. Okay, who am I? I was born in 1983 in Jersey to a stockbroker father. Whilst playing rugby at 16 years old, I met Russell Crowe, who shared some acting tips with me, not knowing that we would work together in the future. My career began with roles in The Count of Monte Cristo and I Capture the Castle, but it was in The Tudors that I first came to prominence. I've since starred as a superhero, a super sleuth, and in the spy films The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Mission Impossible Fallout.
Oh, okay.
Who am I?
Okay,
yeah. It's pretty easy.
Also, I think this book previously has said Jersey, but like in my head, Jersey is obviously the island, just off the coast of England. But then New Jersey in America.
Yeah, this means Jersey is in the island.
I know, because he's obviously English. Not spoilers for the answer. But yeah, I feel like they've said Jersey in relation to New Jersey before.
I think you're right. Very confusing.
Yeah.
Thursday timeline.
What Thursday are we on?
Thursday the 16th
of
Feb.
Oh, we're still quite early in the year.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
Which 1970 biographical war film, directed by Franklin J. Schaffner?
1970?
Yes. Biographical war film. Won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture.
Oh, Jesus.
I think I have a guess for what it is. But
there's so many war films, though.
Oh, okay, I didn't know what it was.
Oh,
interesting.
Oh, great.
Friday Fun. From which film? Okay, this is a quote. They know I can't move a finger and I want to just sit here and be quiet, just in case they suspect me. They're probably watching me. Well, let them. Let them see what kind of a person I am. I'm not even going to swat that fly. I hope they're watching. They'll see. They'll see and they'll know, and they'll say, why? She wouldn't even harm a fly. I read that as differently as I could from the original film.
Do you know what it is?
Yes, I do. It's a pretty famous one.
Is it?
Yeah, but if you have... I don't know if you've seen it. If you haven't, then I can understand not knowing it.
So the first one is Henry Cavill.
That is correct.
The second one could literally be 1,000 things. You said it's biographical, didn't
It is
you?
a biographical war film,
So
which
that
I
means
would
it's-
say is an important detail.
It is.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think so.
1970 as well. I feel like that's like a weird era because in my head you've got like
than it is.
You've got like the Alec Guinness kind of and Sean Connery era of war films,
Which I would say is
is
more...
like 50s, 60s.
Yeah, I was going to
But
say
then you've got
60s
the
going
later
into 70s.
era of like Saving Private Ryan and stuff, which is afterwards.
That's 90s.
Yeah. So I'm like,
It is famous. I would assume you've heard of it. I don't know if you've seen it.
I'm almost certain I will have heard of it because you've got ones like the Dam Busters and 343 Squadron, or is that that's Star Wars.
I was going to say.
It's like 943, something like that. The people who went and did like bombing runs. Then the Dam Busters, the Battle of Britain, but I don't think that won anything. That Hitler one was called Downfall, but I think that was 90s. I'm really annoyed if it is that. And then you've got like the Stalingrad one, which I can't remember what it's called, but I don't think it's that. That was too late. It's about a person.
It's like a really famous image from it. And like,
Oh, is there?
the famous image has been parodied to death. Like, if you look it up, you'd be like, oh my god, I've seen this everywhere. I didn't realize it's this.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, it was parodied in a film from 2021.
So niche.
Yeah.
So niche. To be fair, no films really came out in 2021, did they?
No, 2021 was a decent year.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Is it 2020 was the dead year?
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm going to really struggle with this. So
I think
I'm
you
just
will
going
as
to
well.
guess and say Bridge Over the River Kwai. Is that a World War II film?
That is a World War II
Yeah,
film.
I'm just going to guess that.
It's not. It's Patton.
Patton.
General Patton.
No.
So he's a really famous American general. You know the image of like the huge American flag and then this soldier stood in front of it giving a big speech?
Oh, maybe.
That's Patton.
Right, okay.
Suicide Squad, the scene where they're walking and there's the giant
Right,
American
yeah,
flag
yeah.
behind them. That's meant to be a parody of Patton.
Okay. Because all the, like... Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I'll show you
I
a
know
picture.
about all
It's-
the, like...
You'd
yeah.
recognise it, I think.
I know about, like, Eisenhower and obviously
General Patton was
Churchill and
huge.
stuff like that.
One of my favourite little facts.
Yeah.
On D-Day,
Yeah?
or before D-Day, when they did the fake D-Day, they had the separate beach.
Oh, what was that called?
I can never remember.
Oh, shit. Operation Sea Lion was
I mean,
the
so
one
Operation
of them attacking
Mincemeat is how they got it all kicked off, which is where they
the
floated.
tinfoil.
No, it's the dead body. Operation
Oh,
Mincemeat,
yeah,
they
yeah,
just
yeah.
floated a dead body with fake
In
information.
Spain, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a river in Spain.
And then that led to the idea of there was a beach, and that beach was the fake from
Calais
where they
one.
were going to be sending all these like things, and they had inflatable tanks and stuff there to make it look like it was like
They did
Yeah?
inflatable tanks and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But also the biggest thing they did was, I think it was 343 Squadron who did the Dam Busters.
Yeah.
They flew from Dover to Calais.
Yeah.
And they dropped tinfoil.
Yeah.
And it reflected off the radar, and it made it seem like there were thousands and thousands of
Yeah.
ships coming from that direction.
So part of this whole scheme, General Patton, who was one of the most decorated military like
Mines.
sort
Yeah.
of thing, was put on that beach because that way the Germans would see General Patton was there. They'd be like, well, they wouldn't just put him on a beach.
Yeah.
Like, why would they ever fake that? And apparently he was pissed about it.
Oh,
I think
really?
like Jamie Tart in season 1 of Ted Lasso. He hated it. Yeah, it's my favourite Patton fact. Okay, from which film? Do you remember the quote?
God, it was about not hurting a fly.
Yes.
I'm guessing it's a thing where someone thinks that this character, I think it's a she, has murdered someone.
Okay.
Or something like that. I don't think I've seen the film because it's
I
not
don't think you
springing
have.
to mind immediately. You give me a decade.
60s.
60s. Oh, Christ.
They remade it in 98.
1998.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not many people have seen the remake, I feel like. And it gets shit on a lot.
I'm going to just take a wild guess. I
Go
don't
on.
think it's this. Psycho.
It is Psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So at the end of the film, I gave you 2 big clues.
the Vince Vaughn, yeah.
It's
give
the
me a
Vince
lot.
Vaughn remake.
Yeah.
So
Whereas
yeah, it's-
shot for shot, isn't it?
Yes, it's really good. And Vince Vaughn's good in it. I would argue Vince Vaughn's a great actor. Like, people don't
It's
give him enough
kind of like,
credit.
what's the point?
Don't get me wrong, there is an element of what's the point, but it's still pretty good. Like, it's Psycho. Like, yeah, it's Anthony Perkins who's Norman Bates in the first Psycho film. At the very end, it's like the last scene of the film is after everything's happened. It's him sitting in the prison, and it's just in his head. It's his mum's voice talking, but it's him.
Ah, okay.
And it's-
Yeah,
yeah.
because obviously he's dressed. I've not seen that film in a long time.
Yeah, great film.
I liked it though. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Don't get the true or false.
So-
I don't get points for them.
No, you got 2 points though, didn't you? She only got the...
Yeah, I
middle one
didn't get
wrong.
pattern.
No,
Yeah.
that's good though. Yeah, I'll shoot the 3 things, why not? Weird Science was voted the most erotic film ever by the magazine Nerd Monthly. True or false?
True.
False.
Aw.
Idiot. Nerd Monthly didn't exist until after that film. Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy was inspired by a real raccoon named Oreo.
False.
It's true.
Oh, fuck's sake.
I remember hearing about that. I can't remember.
I
where
thought
from,
Rocket would have been invented in the comics before Oreos existed.
No,
that was my logic.
No. So I think the idea is in the film,
Oh, the model, the CGI model
was
Oh,
made
okay.
based on a raccoon
Oh,
named
well,
Oreo. Yeah,
Oreos
no.
did exist in 2014.
They did. They were thriving. The Oscars have always been held in the same venue. True or false?
True.
False.
Fuck's sake. I mean, it's not like I'm getting points for these,
That's
but
amazing.
yeah,
That was kind of impressive.
it was.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, folks.
It's ended up being a pretty good episode for me again.
If you've enjoyed it, if you enjoyed Alex, like, I don't know, gloating about stuff, then leave a like, maybe subscribe.
Oh, that'd be nice. What comment should they leave? Did we say a comment last time?
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah, it was, would you watch the Tickle Monster having sex?
That was
with the-
yeah. So this episode would be: would you save this thing?
No, there's something better than that.
Would you have sex with this thing? Would you kiss this thing?
Yeah, would you
kiss it? If you found him, would you kiss him? He's asking for
Give him
kisses.
a little
all the time.
kiss.
Give him a little kiss. Give him a little bit.
make him some macaroni and cheese?
Oh, he does love macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
That's his purpose.
Yeah, would you do that? And also, as an extra real question, what's your favourite Dom film so far?
Oh, yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah.
And is there one that we haven't seen that you would say, watch that?
Yeah.
If you are a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. I think that's a good array of comments.
There's three different comment things we want you to make.
Oh.
How lovely. Yeah, so until next week, you won't hear us, but we'll see you. Bye.
Bye.
When did we decide it was going to be ominous?